that I take this obligation freely. So help me God.
Stay tuned for scenes from our next episode.
Adjusting classroom projects for home use, the new normal of e-learning at 10.
And how a local mattress maker is stepping up to ease a health mask shortage.
The quicker picker-upper.
It's a small finger, a worm.
Like a dagger?
Tiny sword.
Breadstick.
Breadstick.
A lamppost.
Coin flop. No.
10 seconds.
A stick, a walking stick.
Tower.
Sorry. It's a tandem bicycle.
What?
As long as sloths are slow, you can count on Geico saving folks money. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
After being a part of
Stephen's Week with the former candidates continues. Kamala Harris tonight.
One of our own agents is spying for China.
From patriot to traitor.
If he tells them what he knows, people are going to die. We can't let that happen.
He's highly disciplined. He knows how to cover his tracks.
Got something. Show me your hands. New FBI News Wanted next Tuesday, 10/9 Central on CBS.
Listen up. Thomas Quinlan has been abducted.
Return the product or he's dead.
We have 67 minutes. This can go bad fast in many different ways.
Stick to the plan. The FBI season finale next Tuesday at 9/8 Central on CBS.
It's mild out there. It's warm. We could see a little fog overnight, Sioux Falls, southeastern Keloland. The rest of the area could see some showers from an incoming front. High lows tonight in the 30s. During the day tomorrow, it is going to be cloudy. It's going to be cooler with a northerly wind. Highs only in the upper 30s to the mid 40s. Sioux Falls could get some rain. Aberdeen, Pier, Rapid City could be in for a rain-snow mix. More about that and the rest of the week in just a minute. Keloland News starts now.
Live from Keloland Media Group, Keloland News at 10.
Turning homes into classrooms, how teachers and students are adapting.
Making changes to ambulances to better handle COVID-19 patients.
And how a local mattress maker is trying to fill the need for face masks. That's tonight's Your Money Matters.
Good evening. 30 cases with the latest 2 in Brookings and Beetle counties. As COVID-19 spreads, community leaders are urging you to do your part to social distance. Today, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem also recommended schools in the state remain closed through May 1st.
These schools have done phenomenal work already throughout this situation. They've been feeding kids at home. Some school districts have been putting out 5,000 meals a day just to make sure the nutritional needs are met. I know that many of our school districts are ready for this challenge and are doing it on behalf of the kids that they're tasked to serve.
Governor Noem says distance learning will vary among districts. For example, some may deliver homework to students while others may offer more online learning.
And school teachers have been preparing for what will soon be the new normal of e-learning. And they are getting creative to make sure students are getting an education, but that's not all. Keloland's Brady Mallory shows you how it all works.
Okay, ready, set.
It's just a kitchen. So I've got a household item right here. This is just red cabbage. But it has all the right ingredients to become a chemistry classroom. You have to actually grind it up. It has a chemical inside of it that's what's called an indicator. So it takes a little bit. It's a little loud. Roosevelt High School teachers, Chris Cameron and Braden Bradfield, record these experiments. We actually just use a phone camera and then post them online for their students who are distance learning. And we got our handy-dandy colander here. The ripple effect of COVID-19 is a bitter thing to swallow. That's why these teachers are doing their best to turn lemons into a solution.
It's a lot different because I'm used to like getting up and going to school, but now I'm just staying at home in my own bed and everything.
15-year-old sophomore Trinity Richards follows along with these e-lessons and lectures. It's not ideal, but beyond her grades, this is helping her keep up her A morale. little bit more purplish.
Yeah, because it still keeps us all connected and everything, so it's not as different.
They're not supposed to be going out and hanging out with their friends. So giving them an opportunity to even communicate with each other, like through Google Meet or through these other applications like Zoom, giving them an opportunity to talk to each other that they maybe wouldn't be able to otherwise.
We've had to adapt school's recipe a little bit, whether it's in a classroom
So after you get it
or a kitchen. People like Bradfield and Cameron are still focusing on what's best for their students. And that's what makes them teachers.
we want these kids to succeed, even though it's still a trying time.
Brady Mallory, Keloland News.
Cameron says that these experiments are safe. He is using household items instead of powerful chemicals. And he says the positive side to ease teaching is students can watch the videos as many times as they need in order to understand the lesson.
Oh, some great sunshine here in Keloland today. If only it could stick around forever, Jay.
If only, if only. Yeah, we have a cold front getting ready to pounce on us, so I hope you enjoyed what was the nicest day of the week here in Sioux Falls. Even now it's pretty warm out there, 51 degrees. That's 4 degrees above our normal high for this time of year. There you see the temperatures. They're cooler in western South Dakota. The front is approaching. This is going to switch around to the north, and as a result, not as warm tomorrow. Here's what we have on tap for tonight. We will have the clouds streaming back into the area. Sioux Falls could get a little bit of fog, and we could have some showers in Aberdeen, Pierre, Rapid City as the system moves in from the northwest. Then tomorrow, we're not talking 60s and 70s like we had today. A high of 44 in Sioux Falls, 38 Aberdeen, 41 in Pierre, 40 in Rapid City. Sioux Falls, you can see some light rain showers. We're looking at a band of snow, western, central, and northeastern South Dakota. We'll talk more about that. Let you know what's coming our way the rest of the week in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Jay. Deadwood's mayor sent letters to casino operators requesting them to close their doors during the COVID-19 pandemic. The executive director of Deadwood's Gaming Association says the casinos in town will shut down around noon tomorrow.
We think it's in the best interest to show that we're cooperating and with the city council, and obviously we want to do the right thing for our patrons and our employees. So.
Deadwood's mayor says there will be an emergency meeting tomorrow to discuss an ordinance to mandate business closures if need be.
A pair of local ambulance services now have vehicles specifically designed to transport COVID-19 patients. Keloland's Travis Fonsing shows you their new setup.
MedStar and Patient Care have each been selected by the state of South Dakota to help battle COVID-19.
This vehicle right here is a vehicle we're putting online, making specifically to transport the coronavirus patients in.
We're setting aside an ambulance specifically for long distance, long patient contact, interfacility transport. So that's patients from hospitals to other hospitals who are already known to be COVID positive.
Once those patients arrive at their destination, crews will go to work to help eliminate the spread of coronavirus.
This may be a suspected patient that we have in the back of our truck. So if it's suspected and they actually don't have it, we don't want to give it to them. So each and every time that there's a patient transported in this vehicle will get 100% de-sterilization and get ready for the next patient.
And what we've added to it now is to assure that our cleaning products are approved by the CDC and the EPA to be used for COVID-19.
Measure says they've also modified the design of the ambulance to protect the driver.
You know, normally in the ambulance there's a pass-through from the driver's seat to the back. Well, we're closing all that off so the front will have no exposure to the back of the ambulance here.
If the virus continues to spread, ambulance crews will be ready.
You know, if the need arises, then sick people need to be transported. We'll put a second and a third online if we have to get these people where they need to go to get treated.
In Sioux Falls, Travis Fossing, Keloland News.
Measure says it's like putting together a brand new truck, but the ambulance will be ready to use by Wednesday.
The United States Treasury Department could soon start issuing relief checks to families and businesses affected by the coronavirus pandemic. But as we wait to find out how this will all work, the Better Business Bureau is issuing a warning. Scammers are already using the relief money to find new ways to trick you into giving money to them.
So before, when maybe they wanted us to wire money somewhere, that's not happening now because they know that we're restricting travel. But this is now the new game, right? Give us access to your bank account and we'll make sure that that gets direct deposited. We we are telling you, do not do that.
The BBB says if you receive a text, email, or even a phone call from someone claiming to be from the government with a check for you, beware. Also, if you see this scam, make sure you report it to the state's Attorney General's office.
4 have been caught, but the search continues tonight for 5 other female inmates who walked away from the Community Work Center in Pierre after one of their fellow inmates tested positive for the COVID-19. For years, Keloland Investigates has been reporting on the overcrowding at the women's prison. The inmate who tested positive for the virus was working in the Pierre community. She is currently in isolation. We've heard from correctional officers and inmates alike who are alarmed at the potential spread of the virus in such tight quarters.
We have 9 girls in one room, and she was in a, we all eat together. Like, she's in quarantine now, but that was just as of 2 days ago.
One of the 4 inmates caught is currently being tested for the coronavirus. The South Dakota Department of Health says it is working with the prison staff and will do tests if any of them show symptoms.
Healthcare providers across the country are beginning to improvise with some protective equipment such as masks and other supplies that are in short supply right now. But a local mattress company is working to make sure people in Keloland are protected. It's tonight's Your Money Matters.
Last week, my mom kind of put a bug in my ear. She works at a nursing home, and she said, why don't you make some masks? And I kind of thought, well, how am I going to make masks? We make mattresses.
Comfort King owner Chris Larson said he reached out to another friend in the industry for inspiration and then spent most of Monday morning perfecting a design.
Did a lot of experimenting and using some of the materials we already have and designing a mask that would fit well and be comfortable and still offer some protection for folks who, don't have access to masks right now.
And it's just basically a piece of fabric. It's got some fiber fill inside of it. We're just kind of sewing it like this. We're attaching some rubber bands on the sides that can hook around your ears. So very practical, nothing fancy, but definitely serves the purpose.
The goal is to help anyone who needs a mask in the Sioux Falls area.
I think nursing homes, people that are working in the medical field but maybe don't have enough masks right now. I think people working in retail or other service related where they just can't go home. They have to keep going and serving the public.
This new project also gives Larson's employees something to do now that traffic inside the store has dramatically dropped.
Normally in a day, we're building mattresses, building boxes, helping customers. Today, we're building masks.
Comfort King is donating all of the materials, also offering them up to anyone in the community that wants to help.
If anyone else out there wants to do some sewing, if they're bored, if they want to help out the community, we're open to that too.
Making good use of their time, Larson thinks Comfort King will be able to make several hundred masks a day. If you or your company could use these masks, or if you'd like to help sew them, we've put contact information with this story on Keloland.com.
If you have any COVID-19 questions for local leaders or health officials, let us know. We want to help you get the answers. Just go to Keloland.com and you can fill out a form. And while online, you can also check out our Get Help, Give Help page for resources that could help during this time of uncertainty.
Today was the warmest day of the week in eastern Keloland. Sioux Falls made it to 60, Chamberlain 71. But it's going to be cooler for a few days. We have a chillier forecast next.
Well, we all know eating out can be nice, but it can be costly unless you dine at the Fork Grill Cafe in Rapid City.
We'll share its new payment policy that also has people volunteering. That's ahead on Eye on Keloland.
The exclusive sponsor of Keloland News at 10 is Grand Forks
Superson, your hometown RV dealer.
Ever since we opened Culver's, community has meant the world to us, especially in times like these when the going gets tough. That's why we're keeping our drive-thrus open, continuing to cook every meal to order as if you were a guest in our home. We want to be here for you, today and every day, sharing our smile and safely serving with all our heart. Caring for you and your family, it's our pleasure. Together, we'll get through this.
50s and up around 60 the early part of next week.
All right, thanks, Jay. Well, many people are finding creative ways to keep themselves entertained during the COVID-19 pandemic, including the Arbor's Edge neighborhood in eastern Sioux Falls. Neighbors are putting on bear hunts by putting bears and other stuffed animals in their windows. Kids and their families are then encouraged to go out and count all the bears.
This neighborhood is full of walkers to begin with, and so it's kind of fits our neighborhood personality pretty well, is to kind of come together and find, do things that other people can enjoy and get involved with.
The organizer of this event says that they have counted over 50 bears in people's windows. A cafe in Rapid City is offering more to its customers than a warm meal. It's also offering a chance to give back to others.
We rely heavily on volunteers to come help us do this. So every day, Tuesday through Friday, and on Sundays, there's probably 8 to 9 volunteers who show up to help us do this lunch service.
Getting back while dining out, next on Eye on Keloland.
We'll show you how a local screen printer is putting its heart on its sleeve during times of the pandemic.
And areas of rain and snow returning to the forecast. Details on Keloland this morning.
Pizza.
A business in Rapid City is allowing people to pay what they can for a warm meal in a nice setting. And until it closes its doors, the restaurant plans to continue serving the community in this way. And tonight's Eye on Keloland, Sydney Thorson takes us to the Fork Reel Cafe.
Rhonda Piercy was a teacher before she founded Fork Reel Community Cafe.
I love teaching, and I still think if you are a true teacher, you always will be a teacher. And so just from that, I was led to step aside from there. I saw a lot of kids that would come in and were in need of food.
With that thought in mind, she decided to change directions on her career path.
God asked me to take my two passions, which is food and people, and put it together. And so this is the creation of that. And so bringing people together, food is just that kind of centerpiece.
When people dine at Fork Reel Cafe, they can pay for their meal, pay it forward, or pay what you can, and volunteer to cover the meal.
We didn't want to repeat or reinvent the wheel of what any other nonprofit was doing in town. There's no need to do that.
Fork Reel Cafe has been around for 4.5 years now, run by Rhonda, her husband David, and the countless amount of volunteers.
We rely heavily on volunteers to come help us do this. So every day, Tuesday through Friday, and on Sundays, there's probably 8 to 9 volunteers who show up to help us do this lunch service.
In the last 2 years alone, David Piercy says the volunteers have accumulated over 30,000 hours of service.
But our team in the back is amazing, and we get to work again with all kinds of different people, all different skill levels. So if you're a teacher, it's a great place to teach people how we do stuff, and you get to recognize the skills that people have and use those to their best of their ability.
April Olivas has been a volunteer for about 2 years. She works as a dispatcher and volunteers 2 to 3 times a week.
I think it's great for families because, one, they can come in and they can, eat this wonderful, delicious food, and 2, they get to learn that work ethic. My daughters come in and they help volunteer too with me when they don't have school.
While the restaurant has its loyal customers, it often has new customers as well.
I really like the mission that they have here, and the ambiance is great. I mean, it's cozy, feel cozy, you're comfortable, you can have a conversation, there's not a bunch of loud music playing, and the food is great.
The Fork Reel Cafe has a food pantry where people can either take items they need or donate items that they don't need.
So if you need hygiene items, you take the hygiene items. If you have extra because you've been traveling, then you give it back. The food is the same thing. We have people that come in and bring canned foods.
With COVID-19 guidelines changing every day, Rhonda says they have several options for taking precautions. Meals can be delivered curbside, or you can call ahead to have your meal picked up.
We want you to feel comfortable, whether it is sitting at our table or whether it's taking it out. And we want to provide that food for kids that may not be getting it, families that may not.
With Eye on Keloland, I'm Sydney Thorson.
We'll be back.
Yeah, definitely be back.
Fork Reel Community Cafe is open Tuesday through Friday and Sundays. They will remain open unless the COVID-19 forces a temporary closure.
Well, in this time of social distancing, a new business in Sioux Falls is working to help you produce video messages. What this could do for your company coming up next.
The Keloland Live Cam Network.
To
Today we had 60s and low 70s. Tomorrow high is the upper 30s to the mid 40s. It'll be cool a couple days. We'll start to warm up this weekend.
Let's hope so. All right. Thanks, Jay. And that's our time. We thank you for watching.
Looking forward to some nicer weather soon. Have a great night, everyone.
Facts, truth, and understanding of coronavirus anytime on the CBS News app.
Welcome to have the pipeline